Christy and welcome back to 52 Weeks of Beauty. Today's video is going to be about how to remove tape-in hair extensions, and I'm so excited to do this video. I really have put in a lot of research and I have spent a lot of time trying out numerous removal products and just different tips and techniques for getting the residue off, the tape off the weft so you can reuse these tape-in hair extensions, and I wanted to find the absolute cleanest, easiest, best way possible. I had a way, but it wasn't exactly perfect, so I can now say I think it's perfect. So I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I wanted to first kind of talk about the tape, since in the tape and hair extension video I mentioned that I didn't think the 6 yards by 1/4 inch would be thick enough, because when you unroll it or when you take the plastic off, it's two little like rolls. They're stuck together. They're on the same cardboard thing. I thought they actually came apart, but they don't. I put an annotation in that video that that I now really like this. And the thing is when people are looking at my videos on iPhones, or I'm sure other phone systems or iPads or anything like that, you're not going to get the annotation. So I feel bad that some people might not realize how awesome this is. Hopefully if you watch that video, you're going to watch this video. And I really do like this tape a lot as well. It's, you know, it's half as wide. The thing is there's not much room to grab it. So I did notice that if I kept my finger on it and kind of touched a little bit more, there was a little bit of, it didn't seem to stick as well on the edge as the rest of the weft. This has a lot more, not the quarter, the 3-yard roll has a lot more width to it. So I feel like when you're doing maybe your first time, this might be better to use. When you get to be more of a pro, go with this. Or if you just feel like you want to chance it and give it a whirl, definitely, I love it. I think it's a lot thinner and the cleanup time is a lot easier. So just to compare the two again, this one's just like that, double-sided. They're both double-sided. One's just, you know, 2 little pieces. So I really do love the 1/4 inch. I think that, you know, like I said, the removal process is cleaner. It's flatter to your head. When you do this, you know, 1/2 inch one, let me grab the right one. When you do this one and your weft is only half as wide, part of the tape is actually resting on your actual hair underneath the weft. It doesn't really happen with this one. This just enough covers the weft. So you are going to have a little bit extra cleanup residue resting on your hair, and that could be just a little time consuming. It's not horrible, but I just think that if you can get used to this one, this is probably the better one to go with. So moving on, I have pretty much narrowed down my favorite removal products to 4. And I'm going to start with this one first. This is Extension Release. This is Lace Release. And these are both by Walker. And the difference between the two, this has an extra color to it. Otherwise, the ingredients are the exact same. And I think it's basically pharmaceutical grade alcohol, which is like 99 point something. So I'm not exactly sure. There's a mineral oil in here too, but this is a water-based mainly. And the oil is, I mean, I couldn't even tell. Here's the good and bad about this product. This is alcohol, so it takes 10 seconds for it to work with the glue. And once it works with the glue, it only works with the glue for like 5 seconds. And then alcohol evaporates in the air. So it's tricky to make this work, because you have to do it, you have to wait to the exact right moment, and then you have to remove the tape weft. And if you miss it, you got to redo it again. The thing with, I like the spray top, however, it does get on the rest of your hair too. So it gets on your hair, your scalp, underneath your weft. This is a drip top, which is nice because it just gets right on the weft. A little bit might fall down, but not much. The thing is, you can't really sense how much you're pouring out of this thing for some reason. I know how many sprays. So, you know, I like both of them. But the other problem is very hard to breathe when you use this. And it does tend to burn a little bit because you're putting a really intense alcohol on your hair. So I would be careful, maybe dryness of the scalp or anything like that if you use this consistently. Also open up the door because it's like, oh, you can't breathe. But I don't know, there is something still nice about this. However, I notice that sometimes it doesn't work for me and sometimes it does. So I guess it really just depends on how long you've had your wefts in, how long you have had, you know, I don't know, just maybe how much oil you have in your hair just naturally. So maybe this would work with it, maybe it wouldn't, maybe that counteracts it. I'm not exactly sure. This is a little bit tricky of a product. However, I still really like it. So I wanted to talk about it. Okay. I'm thinking that it's good that I talk about 4 different ones because, well, that's kind of the same one, these two. But just for the simple fact that everyone's hair is different. Mine's very fine and thin, and I don't know, like maybe some of these products would work, you know, for others better than others. So the other one I want to talk about is C22. and C22 is an orange-based, like citrusy remover. And these two just smell just like alcohol, nothing great. This smells like oranges and it smells nice. And a lot of things out there, adhesive removers contain this citrus-based, or just contain a citrus base. And this is very, very oily. And there's, again, good and bad. This works, I think, a little bit better than the 2 alcohol products I just talked about. But your residue and your cleanup is pretty intense because you are going to probably have to wash your hair 2 or 3 times to get the oil out. And I think oil is good for your hair, so I don't really mind it when I do it that way. It's like a little treatment. Sometimes I just let it sit for a little bit, and then I will, you know, in the morning wash my hair out again and again. But, you know, I had a little oil left over when I went to sleep. So, I mean, it just really depends on what you're comfortable with. But I do like this one. It really does lift the weft up right away. Again, all of these products work really fast, and you'll see soon in the video that I do. Okay, my absolute favorite remover, and honestly, this was like one of the last ones that I tried. I actually think it was the very last one. I just didn't give it much thought because I didn't see a lot of reviews out there about it, not much information, and it's also very affordable compared to the rest. So I kind of just thought, oh, it's cheap, it's not gonna work. And that's a really bad thing to think because this is like amazing. And okay, it's called Weft Release. It actually has a little hint of like a watermelon smell, which I really like. Now the thing that I notice is I can't find ingredients on here, but I know it has a tiny bit of oil and I think some alcohol in it too. So I actually talked to the manufacturer. Yeah, because I'm a little bit obsessed and I wanted to get all of the information for you. And the manufacturer said that it kind of goes like this. I'm gonna do the extension release just because, okay. So alcohol, mix of alcohol and oil. So he just said this is so nice because it kind of does what the benefit, you know how this is so awesome sometimes and this is so awesome, it does like both in one product. I think they actually have like a larger size for refilling too, which I will find out for you, and if that's true I will put it in the description box below. I think we should get started. I'll show you the video and then I'll come back and I'll tell you at the end of me removing it. I'll go ahead and give you kind of a detailed, you know, run through of what to do in the shower when you actually have all the extensions out. Okay, so welcome back to my bathroom. So the first thing I'm going to do is just separate the hair. I'm starting from the top. You could definitely start from the bottom as well, but I am not taking out all of my extensions right now. I'm just doing the top row just for the purpose of this video. So you just secure the top part of your hair in a clip and then separate the first weft. I have 2 pieces in my top row, so you'll soon see that. And then I'm just securing the bottom of my hair to just kind of get out of the way a little bit. Okay, so I'm using the Weft Release. You know how much I love this product, and it has a a little drip top on the top. So I am just going to pour a little bit all over the weft. You can do the bottom of the weft too. It probably would actually go a lot quicker than what I show here, but this is just kind of to show you if you just did the top in actual real time, you know what it would be like removing. So it actually works pretty quickly, and I'd say it probably only takes a good 5 to 10 seconds, and then you can start working with it. If you waited a little bit longer, that probably would be, again, just a little bit better as well. So I'm just wiggling. So you can see I'm holding my natural hair, wiggling the weft. It should come off like so easy. And if it doesn't, then don't tug at it. It really isn't worth it because you don't want to pull your own hair out. So you just apply a little bit more. The tricky part with these flip tops is you can't really sense how much product you're pouring on. So there might be parts of the weft you missed a little bit, which is kind of what I did, and that's why it's just not coming off on the end there. So now I'm going to try the other side. Okay, so you'll see here I'm doing the same thing, just kind of wiggling a little bit, holding my natural hair, and it's just coming off very nicely. Sometimes the tape will actually stick on the weft, which I would say is about 75% of the time. Other times, there goes the tape. Do you see that little piece? And it's stuck on my hair and I can't tell. So that's totally fine too. This tape is amazing. It peels right off, but I didn't even notice, and I won't notice for a few minutes when I go to look at my weft and pull the tape off. But anyway, we're back to the other side now, and I'm just trying to find the area that I put a little bit more solution on and see if it's ready, and guess what? It's not. Which is fine because this doesn't take, you could pour a ton of product on your hair, but remember this has a little bit of oil in it, so I try not to pour a ton on because if you're showering and trying to get the oil out, it can be a little time consuming if you have a lot on there. So anyway, I'm just working with it. It is coming loose a little bit, only a small part. And then you'll see that there's still that tricky little edge. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to have to put some more solution. When it gets to this tricky point, I like to, just put it on the bottom of the weft at that point and the top. So here it is. I'm going to do the top, and then you'll notice right away when I go to lift it up to put it on the bottom, it just kind of falls right out. Okay, and there it is. And it just came out so nice and easy. So when it does have enough solution on it, it'll literally just work in just a few seconds. But like I said, with these flip tops, it's a little tricky to be able to tell. But there is the back of my hair, and there's hardly any residue left in there. It's just so nice. This product works amazing. But anyway, I'm going to put a little bit of the weft release on my actual hair just so it can kind of soak while I do the rest of my wefts. And that way, when I get in the shower and try and remove just the extra little bit of residue, it would pretty much be all gone. Okay, so at this point, this is when you would do the other wefts as well. But again, like I said, I'm just doing the top one for this video. So then I'm going to go back to the hair extension pieces that I took out. And you'll notice on both sides, you should be able to see the tape pretty easily and be able to pull it off. If it doesn't come off right away, see how easy that one is? It's like, whoop, done. If it doesn't come off right away, you can put a little bit more weft release on it, and you'll see I can't really get a hold of this one piece, and I put the weft release on it and it comes right off. And look how easy that was. That's awesome. I also, if you're having trouble with the tape, just put a little hot, like a blow dryer over it, like I did with my sticker removal and my January favorites. And the actual heat, if you just kind of rotate your hair dryer above where the tape is, be careful of your fingers, obviously, with the hot heat, but it will you'll be able to grab it really nice and easy too and lift that tape right off. Okay, so this is where I realized, like, uh-oh, there's a piece of tape in my hair because it's not on the other weft. Where is it? And there it is. And you'll be able to see it just comes right off. Really nice and easy. This tape doesn't take my hair with it. I love that. It just kind of all stays as one piece, and it's just like the best tape ever, ever, ever. I think it's important to check your wefts, after you take them out pretty soon, because it's easier to get the tape right out before you get in the shower and wash your hair. So that's really nice. It's also good to kind of take the tape off as soon as possible and use the weft release again. You could, if you're having a stubborn tape, you could just leave it with the weft release on it while you're showering, and then when you come out, it should come off really quickly. So while I'm showering to get the residue out of my hair, after I take all the wefts out, I like to have the weft release on the actual extension after I took the tape off. And I like to go ahead and take some glue remover shampoo. This is one of my favorites ever. It's just a really silky shampoo, so I think it really helps get some of the residue out. I put a little bit of the Jamaican Dream glue remover shampoo on the weft as well over top of the weft release that I had, put right on the weft. If you're having stubborn, you could feel like this weft is very sticky still or anything like that, then you could just take a Dixie cup, put a little bit of weft release solution in it, and soak the top of the extension, just the weft part, in the Dixie cup while you're, showering, getting the rest out. And when you get out of the shower, or if you want to leave it in the little cup for like an hour or so, the more time, the better. When you take it out, all of the residue should be pretty much gone. Okay, so that was the removal process. And so when you get in the shower, here's kind of how everything goes. I like to get in the shower and immediately use the glue remover shampoo. And this, like I said, is very silky. There's a lot of other brands. This is just the one I like the best, Jamaican Dream, and it's bonding glue remover shampoo. It conditions and detangles. So this is just, it's silky, it's nice. I put it all over my hair. I wait till I take all the wefts out, like I said in the video. I just did the top. But I put it all over my hair, and then I use a really, really, really deep conditioner. So there's a few steps to, the shower and all that, but I use a really, really good deep conditioner. I get it really, really saturated. If you can wait a little bit in the shower, that's great. Make sure your hair is so conditioned. And then I take a fine tooth comb. And I just lightly go over the area where it was, because you're gonna have a little bit of residue left, and you are gonna have a tiny bit of hair loss, not from the tape-in, but just because you lose 100 hairs a day, and there's, parts where those you know, your wefts have probably been in 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes even longer. So the hairs that naturally fall sometimes will get stuck on the tape, or the little bit of residue that you have in your hair just kind of holds those loose pieces. And I've done, you know, glued in wefts before, and I have actually seen it take out chunks of my hair, and I have bald spots. This is nothing like that. These are just a few little strands that come out naturally in the shower when you comb through, but that's why I say make sure you don't comb just with the shampoo in or just with the water. Make sure your hair is so silky. If you even have the macadamia nut oil conditioner or any heavy cream conditioner, I would do that before you comb through, because you really want to just like protect your hair. So you're gonna have a little bit of hair that comes out, and I don't think it's from the scalp at all. I think it's just loose hairs, like I said. So don't be alarmed, and I'm talking, it's like a tiny amount. So when you get the little piece of hair off the comb, you're like, oh, it's not that much. So if you're really like remembering 100 hairs a day, it's okay if I lose a little. I love my hair afterwards. I actually go sometimes like a week without hair extensions in, just because my hair still feels so full and wonderful and great. And like I said, I've done the glue and wefts, and my hair was a nightmare afterwards. So for me, I completely know that it's safe and it's wonderful. I can tell when I take the tape off, my hair's not stuck to it. Sometimes a little piece of the actual extension tape, when I'm pulling it, will catch it. So I'll have like a strand or something, but it's nothing, you know, that's damaging to your own hair at all that I can tell so far, especially when you're patient, like I said, and you do it the way that I'm showing. This is the way that I've had the most success with it. And I know you will too, if you are just, like I said, a little patient. And so you're in the shower and you know, comb through a little bit. Then after you get, you know, the little hair pieces, like I said, the tiny bit of hair that comes out, and then you have like a little bit of a residue that comes out, because there's not going to be that much if you did pour this on your hair and kind of wait a little bit before you got in there. And so after you do that, I like to use a clarifying shampoo, because it just seems to really get the little bit of residue left off my hair. So that's why I like the big one. This actually worked amazing when I did it. I was like, wow. Before this product, I would just mix baking soda and apple cider vinegar. Not the Bragg's one or the one that has the floating particles, just the normal, cheapest apple cider vinegar. It can burn a little bit, because vinegar can burn. So I mix the two. I can sometimes just pour a little vinegar on my head and a little baking soda, and I make a lather, and that works. Otherwise, this works. And I think those really help get the extra residue. And it's a clarifying treatment for your hair too, you know, because your hair hasn't been really free. And I think it's good too to remove all the oils and the residue if you're going to reapply your tape and hair extensions right away. So a good clarifying shampoo will really help, because after you get out and you dry your hair and all the residue is gone, then you can reapply. Now, if you get out and you dry your hair, sometimes it'll feel like it's all gone. You'll dry your hair and you have like a little bit of a sticky spot, just a tiny bit, and you're like, don't comb through that. I would wash your hair all over again. That's what I do. I just want to be safe. You don't want to comb through anything dry with a little bit of a sticky. You're going to pull your hair out. So don't do that. Or pull a couple strands out or whatever. I mean, you're not going to pull chunks of your hair. This residue is very, I think, nice, and the weft release really helps loosen it up and all of that. So those are my tips for that. Making the tape and hair extensions again. So after everything's dry, you know, when I said to like soak the weft with a little bit of weft release and maybe the glue remover shampoo, and then you get out of the shower, I would clean those off. Sometimes just use a little foam soap. I have Bath & Body Works. I just kind of put that all over, make sure it's really nice and clean. And then if there's any tiny residue, you could use a fine-tooth comb just to kind of comb it out, but it's really hardly anything there. And then you can go ahead and just dry them completely, maybe straighten them, however you want to style them, and then just do everything all over again. So put the tape back on, both sides, use the flat iron, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then watch the previous video, the very first one I did about, you know, making tape and hair extensions yourself, and that will help you with that process. But you definitely can reuse the hair. If you have pure Remy hair, I think that you can get a good like 4 to 6 months out of that hair, maybe even longer depending on how you take care of it. So the tape and hair extensions are reusable, and I would, you know, recommend doing it that way. And I have never had easier time than with this product. So I would for sure recommend this. So I think that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, I do videos every week. So if you have any suggestions or anything you want to hear me talk about, if you want to leave it in a comment below, or just leave a comment, let me know what you thought about this video, what you think about tape and hair extensions, your success with them, any questions. I'd love to help, and I hope you guys are having a great week. Okay, bye-bye.